Good morning or afternoon, class. So I'm sorry that I can't be with you guys today, but we are going to talk a little bit about the Eclipse development environment. At the end of this class, we're going to do a couple of case studies about code, do a couple of different things that we haven't tried yet, and to do that, we really need a development environment that is something that is a little bit more full-featured. So something that you might actually use in the real world. BlueJ is really great for learning, but when you guys actually become programmers, you're probably going to use something like Eclipse. And to do this, you're going to need the Eclipse for Java developers development environment. Some of the Macs already have Eclipse on them, but you guys are going to want to make sure that it's Eclipse for Java. So you're probably going to want to come here. And we should be able to do this because Eclipse does not require an installation. You don't have to worry about actually installing anything. It runs straight from the folder you download it to. So you're going to want to go to, and feel free to follow along with this. If you're watching this video individually, then pause it right now to go to this URL. And then after you do that, eclipse.org/downloads, you want to find the several different Eclipse versions for whatever sort of code or development application you're creating. So what you want is Eclipse IDE for Java developers. That's the thing we care about. Now I'm on my Windows machine at home, so we're not going to worry about you won't have 32-bit or 64-bit as a choice. Yours should just say Mac 64-bit. You're going to click that to download it, and you can see that I've already got mine downloaded here. So in my downloads folder, you can see my nice little Vault Boy Nuka-Cola challenge thing there. In my downloads folder here, I'm going to go ahead and extract. On Mac, you guys should just be able to double-click this guy, and it'll work fine. Either way, you'll end up with some sort of archive. So you can see that it's extracting Eclipse. Now, when it extracts Eclipse, you're going to have a version of Eclipse that you can just run straight from the folder. So we don't have to worry about installing it on the computer. We can just run Eclipse from wherever. So once Eclipse is done here, almost, then we should be able to open it up. Excellent. So if we go in here, we go into Eclipse, and we can see that we have an Eclipse application file. So you want to look for the image or the icon that's this little purple circle, and that'll be the Eclipse that you want to run. This should look the same on both Windows and Mac. So on a Mac, you guys should still see this little Eclipse symbol. Now, the big reason I'm making a video about this, and I'm bothering to go over it at all, is because Eclipse looks very different from our development environment that we're used to. BlueJ is pretty trimmed down. Eclipse is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so select a workspace. A workspace is basically where you keep all of your Java projects. Usually, they try to create one for you. Like right now, I have this users JSmith workspace folder. This folder, workspace, doesn't exist yet. Eclipse wants to make it for me. You can either do that and just click OK, or you can go browse for a folder that you might have already created that has all of your BlueJ projects in it. So basically, this is going to be the master folder to hold all of your projects. I'm just going to use the default workspace. So once Eclipse loads, there's going to be a lot of stuff on the screen. And the important thing about this is that we don't care about most of it. So we get this nice little welcome screen from Eclipse. We don't care about any of it. We're going to look for this little thing up here that says Workbench. This guy in the upper right, Workbench. You're going to go ahead and click it. So if you're not caught up, now might be a good time to pause if you're watching this video by individually, and so you can have downloaded Eclipse, opened Eclipse, and gone to your Workbench. Everything in Eclipse is divided into projects. Projects are listed over here in the left if you've created them. So in BlueJ, we can only have one project open at a time. In Eclipse, it's possible to open several different projects, and it's going to look a lot different. So over here on the left, we call this our Package Explorer. This is going to show us all the contents of our files. Basically, this is like the window in BlueJ that shows you all of your classes. This right here is going to be our editor. So in BlueJ, we have to switch back and forth between the two of them. In Eclipse, they're right in one application. So let's go over here and create a new Java project. And to keep this example simple today, I'm just going to call my project Hello World, and we're going to do a simple print line statement. It's basically going to be like the first code we ever wrote in our Java class. All of this stuff, you shouldn't have to worry about any of it. The Java development environment should be fine. Project layout should be fine. We're just going to go ahead and click Finish. Okay, now we can see that we have a Hello World project over here, and if I expand this, they've gone ahead and made a folder, a subfolder for me called SRC. SRC in the Java world is short for source. This is where all of our Java files go. Now, one thing you guys haven't done yet is create packages. We haven't talked about packages at all in this class, but when it comes to Eclipse, we want packages. Don't worry about what a package is right now. Just understand that it's kind of like a subfolder. It's a way to organize our code. Usually, you'll have many different packages. I'm only going to create one. So I went up here, I clicked this little brown box to create a new Java package. And I'm just going to call this Hello capital H. No, actually, we want lowercase. Hello World, like that. Okay, now this little box is empty, so it looks white here, because it needs a Java class. Just like we would have done in BlueJ, we're going to go up here to this little C and create a new Java class. Now, most of the stuff in Eclipse, guys, try not to get overwhelmed. Most of the stuff in Eclipse we don't worry about, and it's only advanced users that will ever need to use some of this stuff. All we care about is the name of our class, which I'm going to call Hello World. And then down here it asks, which method stubs would you like to create? We are going to be using a public static void main to be able to execute our code. So we're going to click the little check, public static void main, and we are going to click Finish. Everything else we don't need to worry about. And when we do that, bam, our code appears in the editor. Now you can see here a little line that we haven't used before. It automatically populates this package Hello World. That's just telling our Java file that it's located inside the Hello World package. We're going to worry more about packages in intermediate and in AP. Just know that they're a way to organize our code, and Eclipse likes us to have them. So we're kind of back in the you're doing things because I'm asking you to do them and I need you to trust me. We're back in that sort of mindset because there's a lot of stuff in Eclipse, like there's a lot of options up here that we really just don't give a hoot about, so we don't need to use them. So here we have our main. We got a little comment here reminding us that we need to fill something in, and I'm just going to write our old friend system.out.println Hello World. So one thing you'll notice is that there's a little bit more highlighting that goes on here, and actually Eclipse has some handy stuff for us. First of all, its auto indentation is much better than BlueJ. Also, if I start typing system and then I put a dot, it shows me all of the stuff in the system class. So I want, whoa, my key got stuck there. I want system.out, good. And then when I do my next dot, it gives me everything that I can write to the out, or from the out class. So I have printf, I have print line, lots of stuff that we haven't, there's some stuff in here that we haven't talked about in this class, which is okay, but Eclipse is trying to help me out. Eclipse is trying to show me before I finish typing it what my options are. So I can start typing print line, and it shows me all the different print line variations. So I can give print line a boolean, a character, an array of characters, double float, int long, an object, or a string. All of those things get passed to the print line method. We've been using print line mostly as strings and by combining strings and integers and all that fun stuff. But this is basically all it is. Now that we're in this editor, now that we've got our project set up, this should be no different. Oh, and obviously Eclipse uses a different convention than we do. It puts its curly braces on the same line. This is just the same as any other editor. So any code we write in here would be the same as working in BlueJ. One thing that's really handy, though, is if we had more than one class, we could open them, and they would all open up as tabs. So you can see my HelloWorld.java. If you guys want to test this, you could actually just click your package and create another class, and it would show up over here. And then it's much easier to switch back and forth between working in classes. It's also much easier to see our files because our files are all listed right over here. Okay. So how do we run our project and compile our project in Eclipse? In some ways, working in Eclipse is actually really handy. So right now, let's recap. We've created a project. We've opened a workbench. We've created a package. And we've put a new class, inside the package. Everything else we've done is pretty similar to what we do in BlueJ, just writing code. So that's step one. That's creating our project. Now, how do we run the project? One thing that you may notice is if I make a mistake here, so let's say I miss a semicolon, I get this little pink square, and I also get this little red X. And wherever the error is, I get a little underline, almost like a spelling error in a word processor. Eclipse is actually trying to compile all the time. So compile time errors become immediately visible. We don't have to click a compile button to be able to figure out when our errors happen. So if you look right here, it says syntax error, insert a semicolon to complete block statements. Look at that. We actually have a meaningful error message. It's telling us to insert a semicolon. Now some of them still get kind of cryptic, like if I made a spelling error here, so if I did printfln, it's going to say the method printfln is undefined for the type print stream, blah, blah, blah. So basically, it's saying that this method doesn't exist. But the big difference between Eclipse and BlueJ, check out this handy little thing right here. 3 quick fixes are available. Change to print, change to print line. I say, oh, that's what I meant, a print line statement. And there you go. It changes it for us, the error goes away. So in real time, while we're coding, we're able to get feedback. I know this probably seems like a cruel joke right now, like Mr. Smith is the worst person in the world for making you guys use BlueJ and compile your errors on your own. But all of that error finding that you've done, all that error hunting, is going to be incredibly useful when it comes time to actually to work in Eclipse, because you're going to have a much better knowledge of how errors work than if I hadn't made you go through that pain at all. Okay, so right now we know that our code should compile because there's no red anywhere. Everything looks fine. So if our compiler works okay, how do we actually run the program? If we go up here to run, there's a little drop-down arrow. Right now there's no run configurations. In Eclipse, because there are many different Java projects we can make, there are actually other ways besides the main method to make stuff run in Java. The main method is the only thing that we've used, but Java web applications, Java video games, those all run in different ways. So Eclipse has several different run configurations to make this work. However, Eclipse is pretty smart. It gives us a run as configuration by default. So if we do a run as and click Java application, come on, Java application, this should run the main method. So I click Java application, and then down here we get a little console window that says Hello World. And I can go up here and change my code and add how are you today .out.println, we miss Mr. Smith. Of course you guys do, I know. And then we can run. Again, no need to compile because compilation is happening all the time. So we go to run. If we just click, this run. If we just click the little green arrow, it'll run the last thing that we ran. So because we know how to run it as a Java application, see that here? It now shows up as a successful run configuration. So the first time we do run as, and we do a Java application, every time after that, all we have to do is just click the little green button, and it remembers how we want it to run the program. Hello world, how are you today? We miss Mr. Smith. So we can see that our code changes happen quick, and running happens even quicker. And you can start to see, hopefully, if you look past all this other junk that we don't care about, hopefully you can start to see how this editor becomes a little bit more powerful than something like BlueJ. So now we know how to run as, we know how to look for red errors, we know about quick fixes. So those are the things we just covered. If you don't remember anything on that, or if you don't remember any of these items on the checklist, rewind the video because you missed something. So run as, look for errors, quick fixes, and then finally just run. Actually, these are out of order. Move this guy down here. And running a basic project is as simple as that. Obviously, all these other options in Eclipse are here for a reason. There are times when you would use them, but we don't care about them right now. Eclipse can get incredibly in-depth, but it also can be as simple as you need it to be. So don't overcomplicate. Notice these two windows over here, we honestly didn't even use, right? We never touched the task list. We never touched the outliner. All we needed was our file window, basically. This shows us everything in the project. Our editor, where we can write code, the ability to run, to create new packages, to create new classes, and then finally, to see our output. So this down here represents our terminal, and this shows us everything that gets outputted from the code. This is also where any error messages would show up if we had an exception or something like that. Okay, so what I would like you guys to do is see if you can make this work on your computers. So download Eclipse, try to make a HelloWorld program, maybe copy the code from one of your other labs and move it in here and make sure it still runs, so you can see that everything works the same in Eclipse as it does in BlueJ. It's all still Java. It's just a different tool for working with Java. Hopefully, we'll be using this tool next class to create Minecraft mods. So the other video that I have on eBackpack for you guys to watch is all about some popular Minecraft mods, and then the assignment for today is just coming up with some ideas for mods that we might be able to work on in class, or at least mods that you think would be neat for Minecraft. If you don't know what Minecraft is, or if you've never played Minecraft, this would be a good time to look up some videos about it as well. So go check out that other video on eBackpack. Don't forget to fill in your homework assignment, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Good luck!